this
Yeah.
to where it's me. I have a full-time assistant. It brings in anywhere from like 3 to 500,000. It's more on the higher end now. I'm not going to make that working for anybody else. That's for sure.
Hello, everyone. Listen, I'm super excited about today's episode because today I have the honor and the pleasure of interviewing Daniel Diaz, who is a high-performing business loan broker, you guys. He's an author and founder who is consistently generating 5-figure months in this space. Okay. Daniel has truly mastered the art of being a remote money lender, my spin on things. And he's here to share some of his top strategies, insights, and tips that can help you succeed in this recession-proof industry. Okay. I'm truly excited to dive in. All right. So let's get into the episode. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good, doing great.
No problem. Sorry about Monday too. It's like Monday's always so I work off my calendar, so it's like I emails go out, and you know how it is. Monday is always like the busiest. I should have said something before, and I had all these calls, and then my daughter was sick too, so so I had a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm gonna close this window.
Wow,
So
that's all right. That's all right.
yeah, so yeah, this is a good setup right here. Do you do a lot of these podcasts, or is it?
Yeah, pretty much for the most part.
Yeah.
Lately I've been doing a lot more. I started like doing podcasting around like 2021.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, sometimes I've been like on and off and stuff like that. But I do YouTube sometimes too. So I'll just, do videos like solo. And sometimes I love getting people on the podcast who are doing amazing things like yourself.
Right.
So
It's a good,
yeah.
I mean, it's a good way to, so I'm in this other mastermind group, and one of the things that they teach is like building out a pot. Everything's about sales and lead generation in this mastermind. And one of their things, obviously, outside of like writing a book, I didn't use them to write my books. I took some separate courses, but they're always promote like, hey, write your own book. Regardless of whatever industry you're in, just do it. It's not that hard. Publish it, and it puts your name out there. But they also talk about start your own podcast, especially with the business that we're in. I mean, if you could set something up to where you're interviewing successful business owners, that's the channel. And I mean, you
Yes,
have unlimited leads right there. It just creates other opportunities for you to bring in leads.
absolutely.
Who doesn't want to talk about themselves? So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do believe that podcasting is a
mhm,
phenomenal way, YouTube, whichever long form type of platforms
right.
are definitely a phenomenal way if you're a business owner of any kind, and writing a book, by the way, which
Yeah.
I'd love to get into soon, by the way. So you've written like 3, right? Is it 3 now
Yeah.
or?
Three. And
Yes,
then I'm going to
3.
actually come out with, I finished up the last one yesterday, which was on the overall, like a blueprint to the business. So
Mm-hmm.
I have that one, and then I have another one coming out on actually like directly for business owners. So every time I actually fund a loan, I'm going to send them my book.
Yeah.
So it's like the thing with this business, there's a lot of brokers. A lot of them don't know what they're doing. So, I think to be able to send this business owner an actual book with my business card, and
Yeah.
usually I'll send like a little gift after a deal closes. They'll just remember you, and they're always going to come back to you because they're going to always have that physical book versus that person
Yes.
the East Coast just calling them trying to push them into a bad loan. So, um,
Yes. That's good. Yeah, because your book is basically kind of like your business card, right? But it's
yeah,
it's more
right,
valuable. People will
right,
remember that. People will throw out business cards, they'll forget about it,
yeah.
but a book, they'll definitely keep it for sure.
I use those QR code things, little QR code business cards. Now I don't even hand out business cards really anymore, other than like mail wise. I'll mail something a card, but once again, they just throw that stuff away. Like, who keeps a business card? So
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I am super excited to get into today's episode. Um, Probably going to be maybe 30 minutes or so. I really wanted to have
okay,
you on to for it mostly for my a small community, right, that I'm
mhm,
leading of women who are trying to get into this industry. But
right,
I think it depends. We'll probably have this out there as well, especially you have your book to share. I'm sure
gotcha.
you have a lot of value, so I'm definitely going to have it streamed on. all our streaming platforms,
Okay.
which is amazing.
Sure.
All right. So I want to first get into, how did you first get started in this space, right? This business lending industry, like how and why, and what drew you to the business, right, over other business models? Because there's so many business
Yeah.
models out there, right? What
Right.
drew you to this? Okay, right now I know you're a top performing
Right.
business lending broker, aka my
Mm.
spin on it now is like a remote
Right.
money lender, but
Right.
you're doing phenomenal things, consistent 5-figure months,
Yeah.
all those things closing 25K or bringing in, I should say, 25K in commissions plus per deal. It varies, I'm sure, sometimes less, sometimes more. But
Yeah.
how did you first get into this business industry or this lending
Yeah. So,
industry?
I have a good friend actually in this book here. I dedicated this book to him, this merchant cash advance, because this was the first product that I sold.
Merchant
So
capture.
yeah, so it's this MCA broker blueprint. It's all about the cash advance. It's quick money. There's different levels of cash advances, and I had no idea of the market or business loans. I had done like student loans in the past, but nothing in regards to B2B and this type of business financing. So I had a company at the time. We were selling extended warranties. So it's for RVs though. So I know there's always a joke about these the extended warranties calling people. We weren't doing auto. We were doing RV, so it was a higher ticket sale. And a lot of people told me, "Don't get in this business. It's a horrible business." And I didn't listen. Got jumped into it. Long story short, it lasted like a couple years. It was a complete disaster. It was tanking. It was like ruining me financially. I was like, companies didn't want to pay out. I was trying to figure out what my next move was. I had my first daughter. She was like on her way. So I, uh, I, I always have had my insurance license. So anytime the economy goes bad or something changes business wise, I always have a backup. Okay, insurance. I just jump back into insurance, and that's basically what I
Okay.
did. And I always wanted to work for this company here in San Diego, and I had already had businesses like I've been before then I'd been self-employed for the last decade too. Um,
Okay.
so I ended up getting this job at a local insurance company, and it was going good. And I was telling one of my good friends about it, and a childhood friend, and he's like, "Oh well, that's good. I just got into these business lending, doing business lending. My first month, he made like 26 grand off of like one deal. So in my head, because
Mm,
I've had a business in the past, I'm like, well, if you made 26 grand, how much did that owner make? And I just asked him, hey, are they hiring right now? It's like I need to learn what this product is, and long, he said, yeah, I sent my resume in and which, they ended up calling me in for interview, hired me. I left the insurance job, which even that job, it was a decent job. It was, salary, probably 150, $200,000 a year. And I just seen an opportunity in doing these, cash advances, jumped in, stayed there for about 7 months to learn the product. But the only thing that they sold was merchant cash advances, which I didn't like. Because there's
okay.
other products yeah, just there's other products that I don't like pushing people into a product that they don't need, and that's what I tend to find a lot of these brokers out there do, and that's why they're kind of like here one day and they're not here the next. So when I started my own business after I left there, um, I made sure that I started looking into other products, and eventually now we do everything: SBA loans, lines of credit, equipment financing. So that's
Hmm.
long story short. It's really one of my good friends. He was in the business. He was making money, and the funny story is now the company I was actually working for and quit. He works there, and he's worked there for like 8, 9 years, and then I'm still doing business loans. We like reverse roles. He didn't last in the business
Wow.
just because the merchant cash advance space, all these owners, they run it the same way. It's really cutthroat, so it's more burn and churn. Like top people make money, and the rest of them are kind of they don't. And then I'm saying working for somebody else, for whatever reason, these owners, they all are cut from the same cloth and run their companies the same way. So I don't blame him at all. So, but he's happy where he's at. So, but yeah, that's basically how I got into it. So I was looking for a next opportunity, and it presented itself there, and here I am, 12, 13 years later, still doing it.
Wow, that's an incredible story. So for people who aren't sure, right, or they don't know, they're new to the space, they don't know what like merchant cash advance is. Can you just like briefly run through
Yeah.
that and explain what that is?
So So it's an advance on their future receivables. So regardless if somebody has good credit or bad credit, they can get money. So and the money is actually based upon what their revenue has looked like over the last 4 months. So if somebody's bringing in, let's say, $1 million a year, we're always going to ask for an application, 4 months of business bank statements. We we don't have to ask for it because a lot of these lenders will pull credit, but we always take them through the same process. We get them to pull their own credit through a monitoring company, which I'm sure you're familiar with, the IDIQ. Send
Mm-hmm.
that back over to us, and then based upon what their banks look like, regardless of credit, we preferably they have good credit because there's different tiers of merchant cash advances. So you have your A companies, which they don't go off an interest rate because they're not considered a loan. It goes off of a factor rate. And then and then you have all you can there's companies, not too many now, but there's companies that actually, you know, would go as low as like 450 credit. Like some don't even check credit. It's just 100% based upon their bank statements. So regardless, good credit or bad credit, there's a
Yeah.
cash advance that these companies can get, if they need the money for whatever it is, if it's, the refrigerator, shuts down, or, I've had clients who called in like right before Christmas, like they didn't get paid for, we deal with a lot of construction and contractors. And one of the stories is like, it was right before Christmas time. The guy didn't get paid. He wasn't going to be able to pay any of his employees. I jumped on a phone with a lending company I had a good relationship with, the actual owner, and they wired like
Yeah.
85,000 into the guy's bank account like the day before, like everybody was going on vacation. So he was able to pay all his employees. So there's good and bad with
Yeah.
merchant cash advance. There's different companies. You just have to know where to put these clients in based upon credit and their banks. So there's little learning curve, which you kind of want to take the time to know the product and what these lenders are looking for. But once you figure that out, yeah, it's easy to know who's an ideal customer for a cash advance and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. And so you were telling me earlier that you worked for a company, right? So
yeah.
was it a strictly like a commission type of company, or did they like pay you a base and then you also would get commissions as well?
Yeah, no, it was a base. It was base plus commission, and I don't remember.
Okay.
I mean, the base was nothing. It's but yeah, it was a base plus commission, full benefits, and 401k, and huge office here
Okay.
in huge company in San Diego. It's like inbound leads. It just it's burn and churn. You get a few phone calls a day, and the rest is just doing outbound. Um,
Mm,
some
okay.
people work good in that environment. I don't. So
Because I was going to ask you, what made you
mm,
transition from that, right? You're getting your benefits, you're getting like a base pay. I know you talked about, some of the cons with that
right,
industry is kind of like cutthroat. But I feel like most people would say, oh, well, at least, I have a base pay. Well, at least I have some benefits. Well, at
sure.
least I have some security. Like, what made you evolve into deciding to, working for yourself and just taking that leap of faith?
I mean, it's even. I mean, really no job, regardless of if it's you're getting these benefits or there's a base pay. It's like in this day and age, there's no loyalty, there's no security with any of these companies. You're just a number to them. And I always, you just never feel appreciated. And the last time I was looking for a job when my last company jumping into this space, just going to these interviews and seeing how they were treating, like looking at other employees, talking to some of the people, looking at the culture is just, it's a lot different
Mm,
compared first started off in the job market like 20 something years ago. It's just completely,
yeah.
yeah. It's like the pay, it was, back in the late 90s when I first got into sales, it's like I could easily go out there and find a six-figure job in sales. It's like now these companies are paying in like, with pizza on Friday and hey, we have a room. They had a room there where you can go take a nap. It's like, they don't want to pay a lot in commission, but yeah, here we have all these, we have a pool table in the break room and we have this and that. And it's like, where's the pay at? And
Yeah.
these guys, your
Where
younger
is the
guys
money?
are happy with that. Just different times. It's just not for me. And I'm happy to do what I'm doing now. So,
Mm,
the security is more, to it. And then I think the top guy there at the time was making like 250 a year.
okay.
And yeah, your supply leads and everything else. But I mean, you can, I'll average 300 to 500,000 every single year with just working from home on my own schedule. So
So you're saying that you're doing $300,000 to $400,000
Oh,
now,
a year.
you're saying?
Yeah, a year. Yeah,
Sorry?
every year. Yeah, the first year I was in this business, I did it was like 80 something thousand. Second year I broke 100. The next year it was like, went to 200. So I've averaged, I think I'm capped. I don't have I've had call centers in the past. I had a student loan company. I had 50 employees up until like 2008 when the whole mortgage market crashed, and we were doing student
Yes.
loans at the time, so it affected this business, or the student loan business at the time. It's just a lot of babysitting, a lot of hand holding. It's not, at this point in my life, it's not what I want to do. So I've kept this
Yeah.
to where it's me. I have a full-time assistant. It brings in anywhere from like 300,000 to 500,000. It's more on the higher end now, just because I get a lot of
Hmm.
referrals and a lot of people know my name in the business. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not going to make that working for anybody else. That's for sure.
Wow, that's incredible. So now you're doing about 300 to about 500K per year working for yourself in this business, right? Okay. So let's talk about, since you mentioned you have an assistant helping you right now, let's
Mhm.
talk about, strategies for growth, right? First, I want to talk about marketing, okay? Because
Mhm.
in any
Right,
business, if you're not marketing, the business doesn't
right,
exist, right?
right.
So,
Yeah.
what's been the most effective way you've marketed yourself or marketed your business, and generated consistent deal flow?
I would say, I mean, so initially getting into this business, I was, old school, pick up the phone, dial 400, calls, 400 business owners a day. It just, that whole business model is dead. It's out the door. No one picks up the phone no more. Now it's text messaging and emailing. So kind of when I got in back into the job market, I felt like I was like, I'm like, well, I'm falling behind. I didn't know how to type. Like, even the insurance job, they tested me for typing. I typed like 7 words a minute, and they're like, you here, take this class. Luckily, the lady was cool. She liked me. She was like, take this class, come back in a week and or 2 weeks, call me. And I went back and I ended up passing. It was like 45, words a minute. But I felt like I was falling behind tech wise. So then I started taking all these Facebook courses and for marketing and LinkedIn, and that's kind of where the business changed for me. So the first year I was struggling lead wise. I had a
Yeah,
database and I was just calling that database, but when it ran out, it ran out. So I
yeah.
started taking these courses on LinkedIn, and I started posting on LinkedIn and doing just networking with people on LinkedIn, and in a sequence using software and automation. And I went from doing like 3 deals a month to like 4 deals, and then and this is when I really started taking off on LinkedIn. And I was like, the most it was like I did 6 deals, and then I'm like, this is probably a fluke. You know what I mean? I just got lucky this month, and then the next month I did 7 deals and 8 deals. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm actually figuring this out now, and it was all specifically through LinkedIn. And
Wow.
then so consistently now I do anywhere from like 10 to 15 deals every single month, but that's like a combination of merchant cash advance, SBA loans, lines of credit. I mean, it's all those little products and combined will equal up to 10 to 15. I would
Yeah.
say starting off in this business, because everything changes technology wise. Now I'm like,
Hmm.
like last year I spent, 10 grand on one Facebook marketing course on learning to run ads. And then what I learned then is it doesn't even work now. It's like everything's just constantly changing. So I used to try to teach the affiliates that I work with Facebook marketing and LinkedIn marketing, but there's always such a change. And if they don't have certain skills, let's say sales skills, or they don't have the tech skills, like CRM wise, and everything's flowing correctly, it falls apart. So I kind of got away from like teaching affiliates Facebook stuff, and I'll still run ads on the side. But I think
Yeah.
the biggest the easiest way for somebody brand new into this business is just old school referral partners, tapping into somebody else's network, CPAs, bookkeepers, accountants, bankers,
Hmm.
anybody who that deals with you know uh, business owners. As long as you can come off as an expert, and you don't have to know all the products. Let's say SBA loans and lines of credit. Everybody knows those two products. If you can have a conversation with a CPA about those two products, and outside of the referral commission that you can give them, let them know the benefits of them being able to offer those programs to their own clientele, they'll send you deals.
Yes.
You'll have a huge deal flow. All you need is 10, 15 actual referral partners sending you 1 or 2 deals a month. I mean, you're making multiple six figures. It doesn't take a lot in this business, especially with CPAs. The biggest deals I've ever done have always come from like CPAs or accountants or like business consultants. Like the top deal I did last year was, I mean, I was just writing a post about it right now. I was paid out 140,000 between, like, it was multiple products, but it was a 4 month sales cycle. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
altogether, it was over 100 grand in commission. Like, how many other products that are
Wow.
out there outside of real estate that are going to pay that high? Like, like, I don't
Yeah,
know anything. So I would say,
exactly.
new people definitely go after referral partnerships versus, you can run Facebook ads and all that other stuff and messaging on Instagram. There's a lot of different ways. So I do a little bit of everything, but my number one thing now over the last year and a half has been, setting up a solid referral campaign. That's it's just a lot less headache versus trying to learn the new technology every few months as Facebook changes, or LinkedIn, or even YouTube. It's like, I've been building up my following on YouTube. I had, like, as soon as I got to 5,000, I had 5,000 followers on there. Congratulations, 5,000. The next day I got an email saying, "Hey, we shut your account down." I'm like, and they didn't never gave me a reason.
Ah,
So it happens. That's happened with Facebook
wow.
Ads
Yeah.
Manager. So
Yeah.
it's, rather than doing that, I just went back to old school. Referral partnerships, building that out, and it's a lot less headache.
Got it. You know what? It's funny that you said that because
Uh,
even lately too, I've been focused on as well trying to get um, CPAs as well.
right.
To connect with CPAs in this business
Yeah.
because it's like a light bulb went off, and I was like, that made
Yep.
sense. That makes sense. They're
Right.
like working with business
Yeah.
owners every day.
Right.
That's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. And even like realtors are in the field. They're
Yeah.
dealing with like construction
Exactly.
companies and stuff like that. And lenders love construction companies, right? And
Right.
so it just makes
Yeah.
perfect sense too.
Yeah.
That's
That's our main
incredible.
our main niche is construction contractors.
Yeah.
Um, that I would say 90% of the business that we do comes from those business owners. So, but yeah, if
Hmm.
anytime you could tap into anybody else's network, I mean, you'll have a lot less, and it doesn't take talent. You have to obviously have to have product knowledge, but it doesn't take a lot of money. So, I mean, you could throw up your LinkedIn page, you look professional, read up about SBA, do what you have to do to learn the basics. You don't have to, like I said, they don't know what you don't know. So as long as you at least sound like you kind of know, it just, if you message, I always tell people, message 50 CPAs today. I can guarantee you're going to get 2 or 3 book calls. You're going to guaranteed. On the other hand, you can message 1,000 business owners today, and not zero replies. So it's like, where do you want to focus your attention on? Tapping into somebody else's network, or randomly messaging 1,000 people a day? So just then, that's what everybody else is doing. So why not tap into? And I know this model, the referral partnership's been around forever. I forgot the name of the book, but I met a guy. He does equipment, and he focuses on medical sales reps, and yeah, he makes a killing. He just focuses on equipment. He doesn't do merchant cash advance or anything. And I paid him a couple $1,000s, and he broke his whole business model down. And guy's always on vacation, hardly ever works. He's been in the business as long as that I am. He makes the same amount, but way less headache. And he kind of explained to me,
Wow.
it's like, why am I going to go after like that one person that needs something one time versus I can go after these sales reps who are already out there. They don't have to work for me. They can just use me as a backup source. So I kind of went with his business model, and it's been working well. It's a lot less headache, and a lot less money spent in regards to like ads and getting shut down and everything else. So
So he's basically focused on sales reps who are like selling equipment, like medical
yeah.
equipment, and then he's getting them to basically get the, let's say, the buyers, I guess, to finance the medical equipment. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, so he has his basically his in his head, and he worked for somebody and they taught him this. But in his head, his job Monday through Thursday, because the guy's always like traveling the world, um, is basically regardless of where he's at, in the world. Like sometimes I've talked to him in the past, and he's like in Thailand, is like internet's messed up, but he's still sending off messages and doing what he needs to do. Um, he always has at any given time 25 solid referral partners that are sending him deals. So he's always constantly servicing them, sending them little kickbacks, little gifts here and there, and just trying to get them to send them deals. And he does consistent, like I said, 10, 15, 20 deals, equipment, and probably brings in anywhere from like, okay, 30 to 50,000 a month, and travels. And he doesn't, he kind of has the same mentality. He's like he's more about like freedom lifestyle versus like, call center trying to make as bunch of
Office.
as much money. Yeah. So, um,
That's awesome. That's why lately I've been. I think I need to coin that phrase, the remote money lender, that
yeah, no, I like
AKA,
that.
business, yeah, business loan broker, but remote money lender, because
Right.
I love the freedom based lifestyle. Like I'm based in
Yeah.
Bangkok, Thailand right now, and I'm
Oh,
still
nice.
able to,
Hmm.
yeah,
You do
and
any
we
Muay
travel.
Thai or anything?
Huh?
You do
Muay
Muay
Thai?
Thai?
No,
No.
I haven't learned Muay Thai yet, but I'm learning Thai, the language.
Yeah, I always wanted to. I
So
used to
that's
train
pretty fun.
Muay Thai for 8 years. My daddy was a Thai boxer. He's from the United
Oh,
States, but this is like
yeah.
early '80s. He went to Thailand. He was like one of the first Americans to fight over in Thailand, like early '80s.
Oh,
Like I have all their records.
wow.
They all got demolished, like knocked out because they didn't know the Thai rules. So, but I've always
Wow.
been a big fan of Thai boxing, and I did it myself for. Now I just do jujitsu now, but
Oh,
the yeah,
nice.
Muay Thai for a long time. So.
Nice, nice. That's amazing. I love it. So you plan on visiting Thailand anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, the times I get away now are for like jujitsu trips, and jujitsu is not
Mm.
that big in Thailand. So, I have a couple
Gotcha.
buddies that I know online that go to Thailand. They'll create their own camps, but yeah, so if something like that came about, I would go. But yeah, mostly, there's not too many jujitsu things going on in Thailand. It's more for Muay Thai, and I think I'm a little too old for it now, so
That was
I can't.
you. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's incredible. So you've been focused on certain marketing strategies because you're sticking to one thing because it works. You're focused
Yeah,
on referrals, right? Because it's working and LinkedIn is also working for you, right? And that's incredible because I've been learning as well that when it comes to, marketing or just in general, stick to what works, right?
yeah, exactly.
Stick to that thing that works. And that's been working really well for
Mhm.
you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So in regards to hiring, right? Let's go back to that. When did you
Mhm.
know that it was time to hire staff? And like, what's your model? Or, in the beginning, let's talk about the beginning because this episode is really for people who are like interested in getting started, right, in this industry. And,
Mhm.
they're just starting out. So what would you say initially? What was your model with hiring staff to bring in support? And what tips would you give to new brokers on building a team, you would say?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to like, let's say my assistant, I've known her for, she's in San Diego as well. I've known her for, 20 something years. She actually ran like two businesses for me. So it's somebody I can trust. And I actually give her a percentage of the money that comes in overall into the business. So it
Mm.
took her a while to get on board, but as soon as I seen the opportunity in this business, I, explained to her what we were doing. It took her a couple months to like kind of jump on board, but she's happy now. She makes six figures a year just doing what she does, and she's like the front end of the business. So I brought her in right away. In regards to other stuff that needs to get done, like tech wise, and that I always tell like new people, it's like, you either got the time or money. It's like if you have the money, spend it on getting your website developed or whatever the case is. Marketing wise, it's always good to learn that stuff because I just know so many scam artists out there that say they know marketing and do this and that, and they just take people's money and run. So if you're going to go that
Hmm.
route, like definitely do your research and try to learn what you need to learn in order to, get marketing up to par so you're generating leads. But in regards to growing the team, it's like that for this business, it's just not something. It's not something that I've done or have wanted to do. So I can't give much advice on for merchant cash advance space. For my old business, student loan company, I grew that to 50 employees, and with that business, it was once I would have one employee, and then I would see that they were maxed out. Like, okay, this is all they can do. Then I would add another person in. So I would slowly just add one. I
Yeah.
think once you get to that point, you can't do everything yourself. And that's with this business even now. It's like I have a problem with that. It's like I'm trying to do everything all day, and it's like I need probably another assistant to start doing the. You get caught up though, like I think working from home and trying to do this solo is like, not somebody out a lot of times their work is not up to par with what you feel you could do. So you kind of get caught in, should I have this person do it? And, but all the guys that kind of like mentor me, they're constantly telling me, man, you got to walk away. You just got to separate yourself. You got to explain the product, the program, what you need them to do. Like video wise, there's a whole setup on hiring virtual assistants. Like,
Yeah.
and I've learned that, and then just let them go. And if they work out, they work out. You manage them, and if they don't, then you find somebody else, the next person that will. So, but in regards to the actual salespeople, I have a ton of affiliates. I mean, I have like thousands. I think with those, if you want to consider those, like, staff wise, um, it's nothing that's monitored. I think you just have to stay in front of your referral partners at all times. So that's a text message once a month. That's a phone call once a month. That's an email once a month. You can do more than that, and then just continuously provide value. I have a Facebook group, that has, 1,500 people in it. I have an email list of, like, it's like another, uh, you know, couple thousand of, like, people that, affiliates that I've spoken with. So I think it's really just putting your name out there and letting people know what you do, and for affiliates at least. And, a lot of that business was just over time, as long as you're staying in front of them, they're gonna come back to you, like, with the deal. I talked to one guy earlier today, and, I told him, man, I've been talking to you since 2018. Yeah, we haven't done any business together. And he's like, yeah, I'm in and out of this business, and, I got a deal for you right now. I just got your email, and he's still on my email list since 2018. So it's, that's a deal right there that he's sending over for an SBA loan. It's just, you got to stay in front of people in order, if you're going to build out your referral program.
Yeah. Wow. So you have a solid referral network and referral team that you're building out. But right now you're
Yeah,
saying you went from having like 50 employees in a previous business to now having like
yeah,
one solid like assistant who's kind of like at the
yeah,
forefront of the business, right?
right.
And so let's break that down because obviously with having like one person, one assistant, it's working for you still. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
you're bringing in
Yeah,
300, 500K per month. But would you say that, well, you
per
said
year,
it
per year.
before, which I would yeah, which I would say that it sounds like you do a lot for sure. It sounds like you
Yeah,
do a lot in the business, and it sounds like you could step away a little bit for sure. Based on what you
right.
have built so far, you could easily, I could see that, build out like an SOP, a procedure
Yeah,
type of, blueprint that your
right.
assistants could handle, so that you can step away a bit and, yeah, take some more vacations, right?
Yeah, no,
You
no,
deserve it.
I
You earn
do.
it.
It just No, I do. It just, like, to grow a sales team in this business. It just, I know guys that have done it. It's a lot of stress. It's just like, I just don't want the
Mm,
stress. I got two younger
okay,
kids
you want to
now.
keep it simple.
Yeah, it's like, how much is enough? That's what kind of where I think, like,
Yeah,
I think peace of mind, more or less, and being happy and doing what I want to do overall. Like, if it's jujitsu, or going to, like, a jujitsu camp, or going to my daughter's, award thing at like 2 o'clock, or, like, this year I've gone to Costa Rica, like, for 10 days. My daughter had a
nice.
dance competition. I was able to go there for an entire week. And it's like little stuff like that. It's like, I can't do that if
Yeah,
I'm managing people. So, um,
gotcha.
and that's why I'm keeping this, like, the way it is. I'm just happier that way versus worrying about everybody else, and not focusing on what I need to focus on, which is my family. So,
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. So you like to keep it simple,
yeah,
um, and you own your time. The most important thing
yeah,
is you still get to own your time. You still get to do what
exactly.
you want to do. You get to do what you love. So that's
Right.
amazing. Um, and yeah, nothing is wrong with that. I've heard of it. Just sounded like you were saying that you would like to do that,
Yeah,
but
I go back and forth. I go back and forth. I'm saying on the tech side, or let's say,
yeah.
like, posting side, rather than me going on LinkedIn and put, like, a lot of stuff I could probably outsource. Like, I could outsource
Oh, those for
messaging
sure.
people, like, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's like, I'm the one messaging people, and, I'm the one, like, responding to every single email that comes in to all, if different email boxes, and I'm managing all the LinkedIn accounts that I have, and, just the Facebook marketing, and some of the stuff I could just designate somebody to do that, like, full time, which I
Okay.
don't. So, and it does take up a lot of my time throughout the day.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. I think with doing that, that would definitely be good
Yeah.
for you. I think recently, lately, and I say that also because for personal experience, I used to do a lot of that myself too, like a lot of
Mm,
like I was trying to create graphics, posting this and that
Right.
until I decided to just outsource that to a VA, international VA too, that,
Yeah.
where, the rate is a little bit lower as well. And when I tell you it has freed up so much of my time, it's just incredible, so you can focus on like the high level things, talking to your
Right.
people, you know,
Hmm.
uh, planning and strategizing, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I agree with that. Thanks for sharing that, by the way.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, so let's talk about you know, standing out, right? You already talked about that, how you're standing out right now in the industry. You talked about leveraging like LinkedIn, which I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on. It doesn't matter what
Right.
business. I feel like LinkedIn is now the way to go to grow any
Yeah.
business, in my opinion.
Right.
So you're leveraging LinkedIn, you're leveraging uh, partners, right? Or referral
Yeah.
partners. Okay. Let's talk about advice for new brokers, right? What would you say are the non-negotiables before we wrap up? Non-negotiables for someone just getting started, right? Things they must do in their first 90 days to set themselves up for success.
Yeah, I think tech wise, definitely want to have a basic CRM because the business that we're in, you're, the product that we have, it's not something that is needed. You can talk to a business owner. Eventually, every business is going to need money. A lot of them just don't need it right now. So the company I remember I used to work for, they used to spend about $1 million a month in mailers. That's what they would spend every single month. So a lot of people would see these mailers go out, they would quit the company and then they would start their own and start sending out mailers and like, hey, I'm not seeing the return that I expected. The reason why is because there's a backlog of like 9 months before these people actually would get the mailer and then hey, they have this mailer. Oh, I need money. Something happened in my business. Then they would call in, they would get financing. Um, so I would say right off the bat, you need a CRM because every single contact that you bring in, it needs to go in that CRM because you're gonna have to follow up with them at least once a month. If it's by text message, if it's by email, if it's like I said, a phone call. Eventually, they're gonna need funding, and I think a lot of new people in this business they don't set the tech up right, on the front end, and they're
Hmm.
thinking, hey, everybody needs money. It's like it's an easy part. It's not. Yeah, they eventually will need money. They just may not need it right now. So you got to be that person that's in front of them. So CRM wise, non-negotiable. You need to have something like that set up. It's cheap too. You can do HubSpot's free. Like first, I forgot how many contacts. Pipedrive's like $10 a month. It's like you can go really cheap, to begin with, and then build something out in the future. CRM number one, and then just keep it really simple. I see a lot of new brokers in this business get lost because they try to learn all these different products. They try to learn rather than trying to learn all these different products. Just think in your head the first 30 days. My job is just to get an application, 4 months of business bank statements, and an updated credit report. You have that in, you could take it to like a super broker like myself, or at that point you can go to most lenders and say, hey, I have this application. They'll talk to you then. A lot of new brokers in the business start reaching out to lenders, not knowing what they're doing or talking about. They call this lender, they have no business, and they get hung up on. It's like because a lot of these merchant cash advance companies they don't want to sign up or talk to somebody unless you actually have a deal for them. So I'd say between those two, just keep it really simple and have a CRM set up, and then
Yeah.
focus on generating leads. I mean that's you got to figure that out, and you want to go with you're good at. If you're good at cold calling, cold call people. If you're good at Facebook marketing, start Facebook marketing. And then eventually, once you get enough lead flow in, then you want to start expanding to learning other things because like I said, I do a little bit of everything, but my main focus is on the referral partnerships. That's been my main focus over the last year and a half. So, um, but yeah, that would be those between those three things are non-negotiable. If you follow and take that advice, like there's no way you can't succeed in this business. Like you just gotta. That's where I see just talking to thousands of brokers over the last like decade. That's where I always
Yeah.
see and be likable too. It's like I talk to a lot of brokers and it's like you're not a likable person. That's why that's probably why like you're not getting any business. It's like I don't like I like pretty much anybody. Then I'm sure the common business owner doesn't like you. So be
Yeah.
likable, and then I think just provide value. Like everybody,
Yeah.
people could tell. I see posts. It's like business loan, this business. I mean, everything's just like a marketing gimmick to some people, and that's why they don't stick around. Like try to learn something and then provide as much value as you can, if it's to your referral partners or if it's to other business owners, and the business is going to work for you. And once again, you don't need a lot of deals, 3 or 4 deals a month, but that's an easy, $1 to $200,000 a year, easy.
Incredible, incredible. 1 to 3 deals. So doable, right?
Mhm.
So find something that works and stick to it, right?
Yep.
But the key is definitely have your CRM, your software that you can, manage and,
Right.
follow up with leads, and also focus on generating leads, right? High
Right.
quality leads, but also not getting discouraged, right? When you start, doing lead generation and then in like 2 weeks, you don't really hear anything
Yeah.
back. It's
Yeah.
all like your patience, patience
Right.
in this
Right.
business as well. That's
Yeah.
good. Awesome. So why do you believe that business lending, okay, the business lending industry in 2025 is such a strong, um, would you consider it recession proof? So, I've heard that term, and doing my research and doing this business, I
Right.
could see why it's, recession proof. But would you say as well it is recession proof? And why do you believe that the business lending industry in 2025 is a strong business model, and why should people consider it?
Right. So I have a company, and I have the LLC since like 2004, called Real Marketing. So I was thinking back, like, a couple years ago, I was like, wow, it's crazy. Had this product for, I've been marketing business loans for over a decade now. And, normally any industry that I've ever been in, when it's business to consumer, it's always lasted like anywhere from 4 to 6 years. So I was trying to place it like, I've been in business for like, doing marketing, and sales for like 20 something years. It's like everything has a sales cycle. It's here one day, it's gone the next. And then I'm starting over trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. Um, with this, it's like, since it's business to business, the government can't step in. They can't regulate it. They try to, but it's not a product. They always get like shut down in court. Outside of that, regardless if it's good, the whole industry in itself, like merchant cash advance, it was created in 2008 when all the banks froze up and the mortgage markets crashed. They weren't lending out any money, so I forgot which company it was. It was two brothers. They had a company, and they kind of invented the whole daily payment. They started testing it out in the merchant cash advance stuff.
Mm, okay.
They're the ones that brought that out during like the worst time, like, during like 2008, when that huge recession and everyone was like losing their house and everything else. So
Yeah.
um, even during COVID, like that was like one of the best time. Like, I wouldn't say it was the best time, but money wise, it was actually really good. It was like I made more money during COVID than any other time. So the good thing about this
Wow.
business is, yeah, when it's good, good economy, SBA loans, lines of credit, you got all these great products. You still have merchant cash advance, but when the economy's bad, regardless of credit, you have a product out there like merchant cash advance, that's going to be able to save a lot of these companies and get them through to whatever's going on, for at least, a year or two, until whatever recession or mini recessions going on, so they're taken care of cash flow wise. So, but yeah, no, good times, bad times, this business is it's going to be good. So it doesn't make a difference. It's competitive, but that's why you have to stand out from everybody else. And like I said, you got to constantly reinvent yourself and think outside of the box. What other brokers are not doing. You got to be that person that's, like I said, thinking out of the box, and do what you got to do. If it's like creating your own book or your own podcast, or you just, there's so many different ways to generate leads. You just have to be active and just try different things. So, but it's not going anywhere. That's for sure.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Love it. Well, listen, Daniel, this was an incredible episode. Thank you so much for spending some
Oh, no
time
problem.
with me today. Before we jump off, please share your books that you have, and how people can find the book, how people can connect with you as well.
Yeah, yeah. So I got 4 books. One is actually going to be published like today or tomorrow, and it's called the Business Loan Blueprint, and it's basically an entire outline. It's like close to 200 pages. It's going to be on Amazon within the next day or two. If you type in Daniel Diaz business loans, you should be able to pull up at least one of these books. Then I have a
Yes,
publisher page I can share with you as well. But
sure.
this
I'll have
book
it in the
here,
description.
okay. This book here is on merchant cash advance. This is like the main product that you're going to be offering to your clients. And it has the highest commission. Sometimes on $100,000 deal, you can make, $10,000 to $12,000.
Mhm.
That's what this is about. It has all the rebuttal sales scripts in there. This right here is more for an experienced broker. I have a, I always collect like sales scripts, regardless of industry. I'm weird like that. So I was looking through all my files, and I actually have like a file drawer of like sales scripts. And I'm like, I might as well. I seen somebody selling this one book on Amazon, and it was the worst script ever. And this guy was charging like $30 for it. I'm like, I bought it just to see what it was about. I'm like, this is horrible. I was like, I can create something. So this is actually the first book that I wrote. I put all my sales scripts that I've ever collected for equipment financing, for merchant cash advance, for general like sales knowledge, all the rebuttals. I put that into here. And then
Yeah.
this here, I don't do a lot of startup funding. I'll do one or two a month, but this is, credit card stacking. So you'll get a lot of
Okay.
startups who reach out to you. This is all
Yeah.
about credit card stacking, term loans, and what you need to do to be successful. So like I said, I
Yeah.
have these three books that are all current on the market. And then I have the blueprint one, which is like the bigger one, which is going to come out. And um, they're anywhere from like $9 to $20. So you can get them all on Amazon. And I'm working on something with Barnes and Noble right now, so hopefully I can get at least one or two of those books on Barnes and Noble soon. So, um, but yeah.
Incredible, incredible, and congratulations on the new book, by the way.
Oh, thank you. So
That's
I
amazing. So
stared.
I'll be sure to have the links in the description below, you guys, so that you can connect with Daniel and grab a couple of his books. Again, Daniel, thank you so much for spending time with me today. This was incredible. You dropped
Thank
a
you.
lot of gems. I'm sure that my audience, they're going to find so much value from this episode, and even my community, my small
It
community as well. Thank you so
was my
much,
pleasure.
Daniel.
Thank you.
Listen, this conversation with Daniel Diaz has been packed with so much value. I'm sure that you guys took so much from it. Now, if you are in a season, or if you are ready to start your own business loan company, you are ready to become a remote money lender, this is the time. Okay. You heard Daniel, he shared his story, how he is now consistently earning about 300K to about 500K per year, all while keeping this business very simple. Okay. Even with having one assistant, right? He shared some strategies that he has been using, what has been working for him. And if you want to learn more about this business, I encourage you to go to www.remotemoneylender.com to get instant access to my playbook. I break down everything of how you can start this business. You can launch in about 30 days. I break it down week by week for you, as well as our preferred lenders, okay, and partners who are ready to partner with you. No guessing. Okay. And you'll have an opportunity as well to join my private community of other remote money lenders who are building their businesses as well. Now, listen, if you enjoyed this episode, if you found value from it, don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. And the notification bell as well. That way you do not miss out on any of my future episodes. But if you want to see me share more valuable content, okay, all I need you to do is hit that subscription button. It is free. Okay. It's no cost to you. That way I know that you want to see more content like this from me. And again, don't forget to connect with Daniel, check out some of his books, learn some stuff. The guy is incredible. He's doing amazing things. Beautiful people, 𝗔𝗯cie Shibivia. It was an absolute pleasure. Let's continue to grow those businesses together, and I'll see you guys later. Be blessed. Bye.